shoe size. So when I run this again, see the shoe size that I am looking for is 9. Okay, all the things are passed. So in future, if I want to change it to 10, all that I need to do is just go and change here. You don't need to go and change anything here. You already handle it inside. So this is the beauty of parameterization. Okay, so understood this?
Yeah.
Passing string values, passing numerical values. Now tell me, previously when I enter shoes in search box, this was the method. I changed it to sport shoes. Tell me, this one and this one are same or not?
No.
Different.
No.
Same.
You said same.
No.
He said different. What about others?
No. No.
Different.
Hmm?
Different.
Okay. So with respect to step definitions, I am asking. Of course, the string is obviously that is shoe and this is sport shoe.
Same.
Can you explain why?
Irrespective of the string description, the rest of the description is same.
Yes.
That comes under shoes.
So when you when you parameterize any step, okay, you should not look inside the parameter value. Okay, to compare whether two steps are same or not, you need to check the other part of the string. I enter dash in search box. I enter dash in search box. Both are same, right? You don't need to go and create one method for this and another method for this, right? One method, which is this. I enter, what is that? This. I enter dash in search box, right? I enter shoes in search box. I enter sport shoes in search box. Irrespective of the inside value that we are passing, the step definition should be same. Or in other terms, when I changed it from shoes to sport shoes and when I ran it, did it prompt you that some step definition is missing, go and implement it? Did it prompt me?
No.
No.
No, right?
No.
Which means both the steps are same. So that's the beauty of parameterization. In future, you can change it anything, but you don't need to go and add a new method for it. Because you are not changing a step. You are just changing the parameter value. Okay?
Okay.
This is very important. Yeah, let's take break for 5 minutes. Come back. So I have created this feature file. This feature file it clearly says it is to create a user account. Now tell me what happens when I do this. Guess. You know it. Everyone knows it. Tell me.
It will display an RSS.
Okay. So it will ask for. So it says that there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 undefined methods. It also gives the body, dummy body for each of them. Okay. So it clearly says one scenario, 7 steps, all the 7 are undefined. You can implement using snippet below. I'm copying all the 7 steps. Remember, none of these steps are there in the steps.java. So that's why all the 7 steps are passed as undefined. If at least one of them is common, then it would have told that it could have excluded that one and told you that only 6 are undefined. So though features scenarios are in different feature files, we can make use of single steps file. Okay, so this is different, this is different. The one that we have created, so this is different feature file from the others, but we are adding the steps in same steps.java. Okay, how it works is when you run any feature file, it will go and check in the entire project. Okay, tell me until now, anywhere are we telling anywhere that go and look for step definitions in so and so Java file? No, right?
No.
We are nowhere telling. We are just doing this run as Cucumber feature. So when we do this, Cucumber goes and searches in all the packages. Now in this package there is nothing. In this package there is nothing. In this package, yeah, there are steps. Okay. Okay. You can have another package here. Okay. In step definitions are right. You are having steps.java. You can have another steps 1.java, steps 2.java. You can have multiple step definition classes. So it will go and search for steps in all the classes present in this package. Okay, you don't need to tell that you to go and look for step definition file in a particular class. Okay, so for now what I am doing is in the same steps.java I am adding this new step definitions as well. Okay, here I am on step definition page. See, now we have for this step I enter Praveen and username field. It is showing I enter, so that parameter is coming over here. This parameter is coming to this method. So I just rename it to uname. Entered. Here similarly for this method, password. Okay. So now if I run this, okay, 7 steps all are passed. So this is straightforward, right? There is nothing new that we have done. We have just created account. We are just passing parameters. Let's say if I want to create another account. Okay, for let's say for Ankita, password is password2, email is let's say 34. I click on create account creation should be successful. What will happen? Tell me, does it say that there are pending steps or undefined steps when I run this,
No.
or it gets executed successfully? What happens?
Execute successful.
Okay. That's scenario 1. Navigate to user creation page using Selenium. I am on registration page. Then enter username Pravina, password 1, email 33. Button using Selenium. Verify that account created. Similarly, then Ankita, password 2, female, entered age 34, Selenium. Now suppose if you want to create 10 accounts, we need to add 10 scenarios, right?
You can write background.
What happens if I write a background? Tell me. So if I want to write a background, you tell me, Ankita, how should I write background?
Copy from
Okay.
given to them.
Okay. Only one method is in common.
No, all of them are common actually.
How can you say that all of them are common?
Because we need to regard the string values will be different.
Different, but suppose if I copy, this, it gets executed only with these values, right? It gets only executed with these values. Though the step definitions are same for these methods, but the value that is being passed inside, that is different. When you add this to background, this background gets executed with Pravina, with Pravina's values only. It cannot get executed with Ankita's values, right?
Okay.
So background is not a good solution. Background is not at all a solution. Okay. Then, then in Cucumber, we have a concept of scenario outline. The scenario okay, and these values should be parameterized like this. Gender, age, okay, and it is pipe symbol.
లేదంటే గూగుల్లో పైప్ కనుబట్టి అప్లికేషన్.
You need to use the pipe symbol and pass the values like this. The first line should be header column where you need to pass these values. Name, then password, then gender, age. Okay, inside this first you have to provide the values. First one is Praveena. Then Ankita. You just need to type Control Shift F. Ankita password to female is ఇంకా కమెంట్స్ రాలేదు. ఓకే ప్రవీణ, ప్రవీణ ఆర్ యు దేర్?
Yes.
కనిపిస్తున్నాయా? వాల్యూస్ కనిపిస్తున్నాయా?
యా కీస్ నీ దగ్గర ఉండే నీ ఇష్టం.
Okay, so if I run this, see 3 scenarios. There is only one scenario, but since it has run with 3 different set of values, it says 3 scenarios, 3 passed, 21 steps, 7 steps in each. So this is if you want to execute a particular scenario multiple times with the different sets of data, then this scenario outline should be used instead of scenario. This scenario outline should always be followed with this examples keyword where you provide the data. Suppose if you want to in future, if you want to add another, see now it is executed 4 times, 28 steps, all the 28 passed. Okay, so what exactly is happening here? So when you use scenario outline and examples keyword, the number of times you pass data, I mean number of sets of data, there are 4 sets of data here, right? That many times your scenario gets executed. Okay, see it has made your life very easy, right? Sometimes when we are testing, we might need to pass hundreds of test data. Okay, suppose if you want to test login functionality with valid username, valid password, invalid username, invalid password, empty username, invalid password, all those combinations, you just need to write one scenario outline. Okay, then here to pass as many combinations of data you want, your test case gets executed those many times. So this is the beauty of scenario outline. Here the things that you need to take care are obviously the username, password, the first row. This is called as header row. This name and this name should be same. Password, password. Gender, gender. Age, age. Suppose if I change it to something, let's see what happens. See, it's not identifying this value, this column, this whole column. It is, instead of replacing the values, it is giving this gender. That means it's not properly mapping. But for all other, it has properly picked the values. Okay, name it has properly, username properly picked, password properly picked. Gender, since these two values are not matching, this one and this one, it has not yet, it hasn't picked it properly. Okay, now see, female, female. Okay, and one more thing, if the parameters that you are passing is a string, then you should, of course, I mean every parameter should be enclosed within these two brackets. Okay, if it is a string parameter, it should be enclosed in double quotes like this. Age is not a string parameter, right? It's numerical parameter. It should not be enclosed in double quotes. You just need to give without double quotes. So any doubt in this? This is clear?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Very straightforward. You use scenario outline a lot, and this is one of the very famous interview questions. What is the purpose of scenario outline? Okay, so the definition goes like this. If we want to run the whole test scenario with different sets of data multiple times, we use this approach. Okay, the following two Gherkin keywords are used to implement the technique: scenario outline and examples. Scenario outline, this represents a scenario which has to be run multiple times. Okay, this one, scenario outline. Then examples, all scenario outlines have to be followed with example section. That means this is mandatory. This contains multiple sets of data that has to be passed onto the scenario. If you don't add this, see, it is throwing exception. Okay, because this thing is mandatory. If you want to run this for only one set of data, you can still run it. Okay, what if you don't pass this? I've never tried this. Let's try this. I'm just passing the headers, not passing any values. Okay, it is throwing it. Here few notes is again string parameters should be passed inside double quotes numerical parameters should not be passed inside the parameters, the first row under examples section is a header row. And names of headers should match names of the parameters used in steps all the
డెసిమల్స్ యూజ్ చేయొచ్చు.
all the parameters should be enclosed. Yeah, that is numerical. That's why I'm telling numerical. Enclosed in hello, Raji? Disconnect అయిందా? మళ్ళీ connect. Oh, Raj sir is waiting in the lobby. Wait. వచ్చావా? Okay, so this is about scenario outline. Okay, now the third technique, parameterization using data table. Okay, yeah, let me create another feature file. I'll rename it to scenario outline feature. Okay,
Is there any limits for scenario steps?
Good question. I don't know. I never tried that. But ideally, hardly we write 15-20 steps at the max.
Okay.
Okay. There is no limitation until that point.
I've got a question, sir.
Yeah, Ankita.
Do we write this scenario in manual test cases?
Yeah. So whatever the manual testing, what do you automate? Tell me. So whatever the manual test cases that are written by manual testers, okay, once they manually test the build, they think everything is stable, then the automation testers are asked to automate those manual test cases. Okay, so those manual test cases have to be put in the form of scenarios in feature files.
Okay.
So you derive your feature files from your manual test cases.
Okay. So we will follow the same sequence.
Yeah. బోరు అంత క్లాస్ ఏమన్నా కామ్గా ఉన్నారంతా?
No.
ఒకరోజు అన్నారు ఎట్లా కామ్గా ఉంటుంది అది జావా ఫైల్ అవి చెప్పిన రోజు. ఇన్పుట్ అవుట్పుట్ చెప్పిన రోజు మోస్ట్ బోరింగ్ క్లాస్ అని. ఈ-కామర్స్ సైట్ కాకుండా when I sports when I add tomatoes, so see here I'm passing two parameters in a single step. It is no different. Okay, so instead of one parameter, your method takes two parameters. First one is string parameters, second one is numerical parameters. And I add mirchi of quantity 1 kilo, 2 kilo, 1 kilo, and I add tomatoes, mirchi, and what else? ఏం కావాలి ప్రవీణ నీకు ఇంట్లోకి?
మీకు ఎగ్స్ కావాలి కదా?
ఎగ్స్ కావాలి. ఎగ్స్ కిలోస్లో చెప్పలేం కదా, ఏదైనా కిలోస్లో ఉంటే చెప్పండి ప్రస్తుతానికి.
చికెన్
2 kilo and I check out and complete payment. Then payment should be successful. Praveen, I cannot hear you. మాట్లాడు, వినిపించట్లేదు. We cannot hear you. Okay. So payment should be successful. Now if I run, I am on grocery, right? Okay. If I run this, now tell me how many undefined methods will be there? How many steps are there total? 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. Someone please answer.
All of them are undefined.
All of them? How many of them?
7.
7? Are you sure?
Yeah.
I don't think 7 are undefined. No, few of them are the same. What are they?
Oh yeah, adding tomatoes, mirchi, and
Yeah, adding tomatoes, mirchi, and chicken.
it will say 5 then.
See, 7 are undefined, but it is giving me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 methods only. Out of 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, since these 3 are the same, so these 3 together is one step because these are all the parameters. Tomatoes, mirchi, chicken, these are all the parameters, right? So these these are the single step equivalent to one step. 1 step, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's why it is giving me 5 steps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Now, so you need to go on add a body inside it. If you see this method, when I add dash of quantity dash kilo, this can be read like this. When I add dash of quantity dash kilo. Okay. So this is the same. So that's why this method is taking 2 parameters this time. Until now we have seen example of one single parameter, right? But it's taking 2 parameters, one for each. Okay. What if you want to add 100 things? What if you want to add 100 things to your cart, will you go on and keep adding them? Okay, that's not a good idea. So the same thing can be used or implemented using a different technique. Okay, which simplifies this scenario. All that you need to do is when I add items of given quantity, and here what you'll do, just remove is this, you add a table which is called data table. Here again you need to give this pipe something like this. I'll call it grocery item, quantity, then tomatoes, two, mirchi, chicken, mutton, two. Mutton చేస్తే ప్రవీణ పూరి కర్రీ మటన్ విత్ పూరి అంట బాగా తింటుందంట. సో we need atta, 2 kilo. Okay, so I have changed it to this. Now I'm going to comment this. Yeah, how can I comment it? Okay, what is this? This is how you can comment. I'm commenting this out. If I run this, obviously it says, so now it is again telling me that five steps are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 steps are there. All the 5 are undefined. First one is I am on grocery site. Okay, it's no different. Now if you see, I add the following items of given quantity. Here a data table is going as the parameter. To this method, see, I add following items of given quantity is the method. This is the method. To that, data table is going as parameter. Inside this parameter, it's telling me what should I do. Okay. So after this, we are going to write this code inside this. We are going to write some code inside this, and I check out. Okay. And I complete payment. Okay. Then payment should be successful. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to copy all these steps, paste inside steps.
But our quantity ఎలా వెరిఫై చేస్తావు? కొన్ని కిలోస్ ఉంటాయి, కొన్ని క్వాంటిటీ నంబర్స్ ఉంటాయి.
సినారియో అనుకో, అన్ని కిలోస్లోనే చేసేది యాడ్ చేస్తున్నాం అనుకో, అలా అంటే కొన్ని డజన్ ఉంటాయి, కొన్ని కిలో ఉంటాయి, అట్లా ఆలోచించకుండా
క్వాంటిటీ కేజీస్ ఎందుకు
ఏది
క్వాంటిటీ
అనుకో, నువ్వు ఓన్లీ కేజెస్లో ఉండే ప్రోడక్ట్స్ మాత్రం యాడ్ చేస్తున్నావు అనుకో సినారియోలో, మిగతా లేకుండా. ఓకేనా? మీరు ఎగ్స్ డజన్స్ ఇక్కడ ఎట్లా యాడ్ చేస్తారు అవి ఆలోచించొద్దండి. ఏదో కిలోస్లో ఉండేవి మాత్రం ఇక్కడ యాడ్ చేస్తున్నాం అనుకో, డజన్స్ అవి లేకుండా. I am on grocery site, so let me quickly add the okay, this piece of code we need to write. This data table itself is the concept. Then this checkout. Checking out after adding items to the cart. Completed payment. Verified that payment is successful. Okay. Remember, the difference between previous scenario and the previous technique and this technique is, this is data table, right? In previous technique, here the whole test scenario gets executed these many times. The number of times the number of times the test gets executed is equal to number of data sets provided here. But in case of this data table, it is little different. Here, only that particular step gets executed those many number of times, not the others. This gets executed one time, but this one here, this gets executed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. Okay, and this one 5 times, this one 5 times, this one 5 times. Ideally, what happens is, you go to grocery site, then first you add these tomatoes, then you add this, then you add this, then you add this, then you add this. After all the 5 things are added, then you check out, then you complete payment. Okay, then you verify that payment is successful. Okay, it's not like first you go to grocery site, you add the first item, then you check out, then you pay, then you verify this. It doesn't work like that. This data table concept. So using data table, a particular step can be repeated multiple number of times. Okay, but in case of scenario outline, the whole scenario gets executed multiple times. So first, with this data, the whole scenario is executed. With this data, the whole scenario is executed. Okay. So, and another difference being, with scenario outline, you don't need to write anything. All that you need to do is just use the scenario outline keyword, give the proper keywords and everything. Then they give the examples and give this data. Then create step definitions. Inside step definitions, you are not doing anything explicitly. If you run it, your test case gets executed those many number of times, 1, 2, 3, 4 times. So if you go and check in the step definition file for these methods, see, are you doing anything extra? Like it's like I am on user registration page. I entered username, entered password, entered gender, enter age, and create button. Okay, so anywhere inside this, you are not writing a code, or you are not writing any loop, so that this can be executed multiple number of times. You are not doing that. That means no additional code is required to run this loop or to run this scenario multiple times. But in case of data table, if you want to execute this step these many number of times, you need to write that loop. You need to write the loop explicitly. Okay, so which means if you want to make use of data table concept, which is nothing but this, you need to write your own code to iterate through each of these test data here. Okay, so now I'm going to write that code. Okay, see, if I go to steps, to this step, this particular step, this is very important. See, so the step under which you have provided this table, to that step, this whole data table goes as parameter. See that? See, now it is coming here out of data table. I just this, I can import that. Where was it? io.cucumber.data table. I need to import that. Okay. Until now, we have seen methods with different types of parameters. What are they? If it is a string parameter, you take that string as username. If it is an integer parameter, you take that as integer parameter. But here, the parameter itself is an object of this data table class. Okay. Now, so that means your whole data that is passed here is coming to this method in the form of data table. Now I need to write code to read that data. I'll write that code. Here we need to make use of the collections package, one of the collections class, to read that data. So the data present in this data table, is read in different ways. One is, it can be read as list of string. It can be read as list of map of string. Okay, I'll go with the second example. First, let me write the code, then I'll explain you in detail. Where is this method? Where is the data table? This one, right? ఇది కొంచెం బౌన్స్ అవుతుంది, కొంచెం మనసు పెట్టుకోండి, నేను ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ చేస్తాను. First, Um, the data table dot as maps are into the object. Java key value, right? Okay. Java util. You need to import these two interfaces. The second one is not string, right? The value that first one is string. Second one is integer. So here when I'm writing code, second one is integer. Okay. Then for each map key name that we need to pass this. Little of the ప్రస్తుతానికి ఇది చేస్తాం. రేపు నేను ఇప్పుడు రన్ చేస్తాను ఇది. 2 tomatoes, 1 మిర్చి, 2 చికెన్, 2 మటన్, 2 ఆట. ఏం చేస్తానో చెప్తాను మీకు. ఓకే, ఇది తీసుకోండి. First one is grocery item. I'll put a meaningful description. Added this item to is. So what we have done, whatever the data that we are passed in this table, that is going as a data table parameters to this method. Now, if you want to read the data within data table, we need to write this additional piece of code. Okay, so now I have written additional piece of code. I am writing for loop to iterate through each set of data, and I have read that value. Finally, I have picked the values from that. Okay, and I am simply printing the value. But in real time, using this item name, you can use by using Selenium methods. You go to that item, you click on that item, you add that item to the cart, then you select the quantity of item as this quantity. You do all that stuff. Okay, so now if I execute this, see, scenario, only one scenario is being run. Though there are 5 sets of data, one scenario, the whole scenario got executed only once, whereas only this step got executed 5 times. That is evident here. See, one passed, one scenario, 5 steps. If you go here, I am on grocery side. Okay, I am on grocery side. This one got executed, but the next step, when I add following items of given quantity. So inside this, added this item to the basket, tomatoes, quantity is 2, mirchi, quantity 1, chicken, mutton, atta. So this step got executed these many number of times. And now after that, I check out. It got executed only once. I complete payment. It got executed only once. Then the payment is successful. Okay. So so this part I'll explain you. This part, but you understood how this data table concept is working, how it is different from scenario outline. I want someone to answer this question.
Yeah.
So what is the difference between scenario outline and data table?
In scenario outline, each and every line will be repeated again and again.
Okay, the whole scenario is repeated.
Yeah. And in the database,
In data table,
it's only one step is repeated.
very good. What about others? Ramya?
Yeah.
You understood the difference between scenario outline and data table?
Yeah.
What is the difference?
Scenario.
Scenario outline, the whole scenario gets executed these many number of times. But in case of data table, only particular step is executed those many number of times. Not the whole scenario is executed. Okay?
Okay.
Raji?
Hello?
You understood the difference between scenario outline and data table?
Yeah, got it.
What is the difference? Repeat అవుతుంది. రాజీ నువ్వు రెండిట్లో లాగిన్ అయినావు ఒకదాన్ని తీసేయి రాజీ you log out of one thing. Okay. Raji, now tell me the difference. This is very important question. And
Hello?
if there is a question from Cucumber in interview, I think this is the first question that they ask. Now, what is the difference between scenario outline and data table?
In scenario outline, each step will execute every time. But in scenario table, that
Data table.
step will be executed.
Okay. Ashanti?
One time. Yeah.
Understood, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So now I'll explain this piece of code, what I am doing inside. So, you know what is a map? Do you remember what a map is?
Yeah.
Every one of you?
Yeah.
Map? How the values are stored in map?
Keys and values. Keys and values.
Keys and
Key
values.
value pairs. Okay?
Yeah.
So,
Hello.
yeah. Praveena?
No, I'm just checking.
Yeah, we can hear you. You want to tell the difference between scenario outline and data table?
Okay, scenario outline, all the steps are executed. In data table, only one step is executed.
Okay. So we know that map has key value pairs. Key and value. So in this data, if you want to visualize this, grocery item is key. Quantity is key.
Quantity is value.
Okay. Now for map 1. Okay, for map 1, tomatoes, quantity 2. Mirchi, quantity 1. Chicken, quantity 2. Mutton, 2. Atta, 2. Okay, so this is map 1. Map 2. Map 3. Map 4. map 5. Okay. So how many maps are there?
5.
5 maps are, since we are passing 5 sets of data. So in each map, the key values are same, right? The first column or the first row is the header row. Those are key value pairs. Grocery item is one key, quantity is another key. Okay. Now, when you call this method on this data table as maps, okay, it returns the list of 5 maps. Okay.
రైస్ కూడా తీసుకో బగారు చేసుకుందాం.
నెట్ గారు ఎన్ని కిలోస్ కావాల్సింది వస్తుంది?
10.
ఓకే సరే ఇది. సో ఇప్పుడు when you visualize this the whole thing, okay, first this data table dot rmaps is a method we are calling on this data table object. So it returns a list of maps. So this whole thing means a list of maps. Previously we have seen examples of list of string, right? Okay, and list of integers. Here it's a list of maps. But when you are declaring a map, you need to tell what type of key and what the value of what is the type of value. So here I'm telling that the key, okay, the key here. ఎవరైనా ట్రై చేస్తున్నారా ఇంకా కనెక్ట్ అవ్వడానికి?
Hello?
Yeah. So this one is if you want to declare list of maps, this is how you do. List, insert that or first what is each map type, whose key is of type string, whose value is of type value. Okay, so for some reason if I take integer, it should be integer, right? Second one is quantity. It is integer, right? It's not string. So but when I take integer, it's throwing error. For now I just took it as string also, that one and also string. Okay, so first I am declaring a map. Okay, map nothing but this thing. How many maps are there? Now 6 maps are there. Now 6 maps is nothing but a list of 6 maps, right? This is how you declare a list of maps. A list of string is declared like this. A list of integer is declared like this. A list of map is declared like this. Okay, that's what I did here. So now list of maps is returned. So this, when I call this method, it returns a list of maps. So I have created a variable whose type is list of maps, and I am storing all that value into all data maps. Now in this all data maps, I am running for each loop. So all data maps are means total 6 maps. Now I want to pick one map at a time. To do that, I am using this for each loop. So out of all 6 all data maps, I am taking one map at a time and putting that one map into each data map. Obviously the map type is map of string and string. Now I am running this loop 6 times. Since there are 6 maps, it runs 6 times. Every time that particular map comes into this map variable, and that map variable I am calling this .get grocery item. Okay, so first this map is there. That means this. When I call map1 dot grocery item, this value is written. Map1 dot quantity, this value is written. Similarly, in the next iteration, when I call map2 dot gross item, this value is returned. Map2 dot quantity, this value is returned. So this is repeated for all the 6 maps. So all I did is, first I am copying them into list of maps. Now I am picking one map at a time, and each map I am calling the corresponding key, getting the value. Now I am able to read the values present in each row. So once you have values, now you can make use of those values as you like. Okay, you can pass it to Selenium methods. You can do whatever you want. So this is how this data table works. If you go back here, in this technique, we don't use any Gherkin keywords. First of all, are we using any Gherkin keyword here? Is there any special Gherkin keyword that we are using here, which is in green like this? In case of scenario outline, we are using these 2 dedicated keywords, Gherkin keywords. But in case of data table, we don't use any Gherkin keyword. We pass data using table under single step, like this. Okay? Next, all the data from the table will be passed to that step as data table object. Okay? Like this. Data table object. Now next point.
But we
need to explicitly write code to iterate through each row present in data table and read the values. See, we need to write our own code. Yeah, someone was talking.
We didn't see any list map, but we saw just list and map, right? The combination of list and map we didn't check, right?
We did that only, right? This one.
No, in collections we checked with only list and
okay, list we checked what is list. We checked what is map, what are maps. Okay. Okay, I understood what you are trying to ask. So it doesn't make any difference, Rashi. So when we were checking list, we took the example of list of strings. What if you want to have a list of maps, not just a list of strings? Okay, all that you need to do is, inside that list, you need to pass the type, like this. You need to pass that map, like this. Okay, it's like, if you know how to work on this, you will also know how to work on this. Okay, all that you need to use. See here, I am not doing anything extra. I just so out of this list of maps, I am taking one map at a time from this all data maps. See, all data maps has all the maps. I am taking one map at a time using this PHP, and this one map I am calling that get method and key, and it is returning the values. Okay, don't look at it differently. You can try any number of combinations. Instead of list of maps, you can pass list of maps of maps of maps. Okay, maps of list of maps. You can try any combination based on your requirement. Okay, and here this is very important. We need to explicitly write code to iterate through each row present in data table and read the values. So to do this, there are 2 methods. Uses as lists method dot as list as maps. Okay, header column names are keys in the each way. This is important. These header column names are keys in each map. This is how data table works. Now, obviously, the important question is like, what is scenario outline? What is data table? What is the difference between scenario outline and data table? What is the difference? Scenario outline. Whereas in okay, makes sense?
Yeah.
See, Cucumber is not a very complicated topic. It's easy. Okay, we are slowly getting into this thing. This Cucumber is the building block, or you can call it a skeleton of your whole automation framework. Okay, it's like it drives everything. It makes use of Java, it makes use of Selenium, it makes use of Maven, it makes use of TestNG, everything. It's like skeleton where it provides slots for everything. All that you need to do is just use other tool wherever needed. It holds all the things together. So it's very important for us to understand the working of Cucumber. That's why I don't want to confuse you by telling Selenium and Cucumber together. First, I am purely explaining you what Cucumber is, how Cucumber works with dummy code. Okay. Then I'll start, when we start Selenium, we try to put that Selenium code here. So you should be able to differentiate between what is the role played by Cucumber and what is the role played by Selenium. Which method is Cucumber's method and which method is Selenium's method. Okay. So this will help you. If we are learning only Cucumber. We are learning Cucumber alone. We are not integrating it to anything else. So now this will help you understand that difference. So what is the role of Cucumber and what is the role of other tools. Yeah. There is another small topic for today. We'll finish this and wrap up the class. So now we know parameterization techniques. Technique 1, this is passing values directly within steps like this. Like this, okay. But here we can pass the parameters from steps, but it's not like the step can be executed with multiple values at a time. Whatever the value that you pass, the step takes that value in the first technique. But in second and third techniques, based on the number of times, based on the number of data sets that you are passing, your test scenario or a particular test step gets executed multiple times. So we achieve proper parameterization using in techniques 2 and 3. Okay, in technique 1, it's not total parameterization. It doesn't solve the total purpose of parameterization, but you can still call it parameterization. Again, these techniques 2 and 3, so they will help you in implementing data-driven frameworks. When we are building frameworks, I'll explain you the meaning of data-driven term. Okay. For now, just understand what these are. Now, hooks. Cucumber support 2 hooks. Let's say these are all how many. There are so many feature files. For all the feature files, we kept on adding steps in this step definitions in steps.java class. Sometimes before each scenario and after each scenario. Okay, suppose this is one scenario, and there are so many 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So many features are there. Feature files are there. Every feature file having its own scenario. Sometimes across all the feature files, you might want to perform some steps before each scenario and some steps after each scenario. Okay. Let's say, for example, before I have opened browser, I want to connect to database. Let's say. Okay. And after each scenario, I should disconnect. I should close all connections, all database connections. Okay. See, when you look at this, given I want to connect to a database, okay, makes sense. But at the end, so obviously in your scenario, then is the last part, right? First there will be given, there will be when, and then is the last part. So after then, whatever the step that you give, they are purely verifications, okay, where you compare some expected versus actual. But here, is this a validation? Can we call it a test step? Are we performing any expected versus actual comparison?
No.
No, right? But this database connections, I mean, the first step and the last step, I mean, when this database connection is somewhere used in any one of these steps, like somewhere in any one of these steps, I want to read data from database. To do that, I should be connected to database, right? So I'm doing it here. Once I'm connected, I need to close that. Obviously, I should do it end of the scenario. But adding this them in given and when, I mean, like this, in the scenario step itself, it's not making much sense. Okay. So, and if there are 10 scenarios in this feature file, and across all the feature files, every feature file is having, suppose, let's say 5 scenarios. For each scenario, we need to repeat this thing. So then there comes the concept of hooks. There are 2 hooks provided by Cucumber, before hook and after hook. They are nothing but the methods or blocks of code which gets executed before each scenario and after each scenario. So before hook or before method is executed before each scenario is run. And the after hook or that particular method gets executed after each scenario is run. So what we'll do, we'll simply take this out. Change it back. Right? I will go and create, in this step definition itself, I will go and create 2 methods, one for before hook, another for after hook. So how do we create a method? Simply public void, it's not returning anything. So I'll call the setup. The method name is setup. Okay. And similarly, I'll go and create another method for after hook. Cleanup. Okay. So here I need to annotate with this to tell that this is a before hook or before method. Before hook is nothing but a method. Okay. Here I need to add before. It will ask me to import that io.cucumber Java. I import it from io.cucumber. Then after. Okay. Inside this, you write whatever code you want. First, I'll draw some Mugu. ఇంకా ఏమైనా చేయొచ్చు కనెక్టింగ్ డేటాబేసెస్ అంతేకాకుండా బిఫోర్ ఏంటంటే ఫస్ట్ టైం మనం వెన్ యూ స్టార్ట్ ఎగ్జిక్యూషన్ వి రీడ్ ప్రాపర్టీస్ రైట్ రీడింగ్ వాల్యూస్ ఫ్రమ్ ప్రాపర్టీస్ ఫైల్స్ let's say okay then anything suppose sometimes you want to open browser here only suppose all are our Selenium test cases that means we open browser and do something on browser itself so browser instance is being created or browser is opened so all these things are done here so because these things are save for all the scenarios they are not just specific to particular scenario or particular feature file okay now see I have added them if I go and first I'll execute this there are multiple feature files right I go here search one execute this see there are two scenarios here okay first what is happening scenario search some search box without selecting category this one right this is being executed when this execution started first before hook is executed I am before hook I get executed before each scenario connecting to database reading values from properties file whatever that is there that piece of code present in that before hook that got executed now your actual scenario got executed see I have opened browser and I navigate to home page okay similarly the category that is being searched for is shoes and I click search button click the search button this one then all shoe products should be displayed capturing all actual result using Selenium comparing actual result matches with expected result using TestNG using TestNG compare that all the displayed products have shoe keys in their description so now the scenario execution completed. Now see, I am after hooks. This got executed. I get executed after each scenario. Closing connections to database. Browser is closed. Now, next scenario execution started. After next scenario execution started, first I am before hook is executed. Now all the scenario steps. Okay. At the end, I am after hook is executed. Okay. So in this steps.java, I have created two hooks. Before hook, after hook. Hook is nothing but a method. This setup you can give any name. Cleanup you can give any name. All that you need to do is you need to annotate it. Whatever the name you give, but if you annotate it using @ before, then Cucumber understands that this is the before hook or before method. At the same time, Cucumber understands that this is after method. Now your Cucumber executes your before method before each scenario, after method after each scenario. Okay, this part is understood. Any doubt in this? Any confusion?
No.
Okay. Now, if I go to scenario outline and execute this, when we execute scenario outline, this scenario outline gets executed how many times? Someone please answer.
5 times.
We got 5 sets of data. Now tell me, your before hook and after hook gets executed how many times?
1 time.
5 times.
1 time.
Let me run this. See, I am before hook, I am after hook. Next, I am before hook, I am after hook. I am before hook,
5 times.
I am after hook. Okay. So in scenario outline, the whole scenario gets executed 5 times, right?
Yeah.
4 times. 4 sets of data means 4 times. So each instance is treated as a separate scenario. That's why your before hook gets executed 4 times and after hook executed 4 times. Okay. With one instead of with Praveena, there is one before hook and after hook, and with Ankita, there is one before hook. Okay. One after hook. Similarly for Sidhu, Ramya. Okay. So this is the use of hooks. Okay.
Yeah.
Clear? Any doubts? Any questions?
No.
No. Everyone is good. How is today's session?
Interesting.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yes.
Raji,
Yes. Interesting today.
interesting. Prashanti,
నేను అంతా ఫాలో అయినట్టు అనిపించలేదు.
ఎందుకంటే నిన్న మిస్ అయ్యాను.
నిన్న వీడియో చూసినాను.
ఓకే, సరే పంపిస్తాను. అండ్ ప్రవీణ,
Yeah, good.
ఓకే. సో ఇంట్రెస్టింగ్ ఉందా కుకుంబర్?
Yeah.
ఇంట్రెస్టింగ్గా ఉంటుంది. మీరు ఇప్పుడు నేను చెప్పిన ఈ పీపీటీలో పెట్టిన స్టెప్స్ ఉన్నాయి కదా, మీరు చేసి ఈ ఎగ్జాంపుల్స్ ఏమన్నాయో ఇవి చేయండి ఖచ్చితంగా నెక్స్ట్ వీక్ వచ్చే టైంకి. ఇంకా దీంట్లో మేబీ ఇంకో సెషన్ ఉంటుంది కుకుంబర్ మీద, ఇంకో అట్లీస్ట్ 2 hours అన్న పడుతుంది. ఇంకా దీంట్లో ట్యాగ్స్, ట్యాగ్డ్ హుక్స్, యూజర్ క్లాసెస్, అది ఇంపార్టెంట్ లాస్ట్లో. ఓకే. సో ఇదంతా వస్తే మనకు కుకుంబర్ వచ్చినట్టు. సో మీరు ఆన్ ద ఫ్లై మిమ్మల్ని ఫ్రేమ్వర్క్, మేము జీరో నుంచి స్క్రాచ్ నుంచి మేము ఫ్రేమ్వర్క్ బిల్డ్ చేయండి మిమ్మల్ని అడిగారంటే మీరు ఇది చేయడమే. ఈ స్టెప్స్ ఉన్నాయా? ఒక కుకుంబర్ ఫ్రేమ్వర్క్ బిల్డ్ చేయడం ఎలా అంటే ఇదే, ఈ 2 ఉన్నాయి కదా కుకుంబర్ సెటప్ చేసి మీరు ఫీచర్స్ ఫైల్స్ రాసి, ఇట్లా మల్టిపుల్ ఫీచర్ ఫైల్స్ రాసి మీరు ఎగ్జిక్యూట్ చేయగలరు. దాని స్టెప్ డెఫినేషన్స్ ఉన్నాయి కదా, అందులో మీ కోడ్ పెట్టి ఎగ్జిక్యూట్ చేయాలంటే మీకు కుకుంబర్ వచ్చినట్టు. ఇప్పుడు సెలీనియంలో మనం కొత్తగా చేయబోయేది ఏమి ఉండదు. సెలీనియం ఏంటంటే ఈ లోపల మెథడ్స్ ఉంటాయి కదా, ఇందులో ఈ డమ్మీ కోడ్ రాయకుండా సెలీనియం కోడ్ రాస్తామంతే. మీరు కాన్ఫిడెంట్గా ఇప్పుడు దీంతో పాటు సెలీనియం నేర్చుకున్నారంటే, నేను కుకుంబర్ సెలీనియం ఫ్రేమ్వర్క్ ఐ కెన్ బిల్డ్ ఇట్ ఫ్రమ్ స్క్రాచ్ అని మీరు కాన్ఫిడెంట్గా చెప్పుకోవచ్చు. Okay.
Good, yeah.
Sorry. Next